But it's all the West.
Oh my goodness. All kinds of fun things. I think I found some apples. And some peas. Hey everybody, it's Sheila and welcome to my vlog. So happy you joined me here today. We are in for a treat today. Ron and I took a trip to Weber's Farm. It's in Parkville, Maryland. It's been a while since we've been here. So I hope that you will stay with me, find out what we do with our apples, and maybe you'll have some ideas yourself. So come on and join us. This is Mama's frying pan, a cast iron frying pan. Look at that. I mean, she used that as a young lady, and that's my grandmother. So this is probably 80 years old and it's still working just fine. All right, I've got my oven heating up to 425 degrees, and I've got my grandmother's cast iron skillet. We're going to be baking the cornbread in just like she did this many, many years ago. I'm going to put a dollop of Crisco vegetable shortening, and we're going to just put this in the oven and let that shortening melt and let the pan get nice and hot. All right, you're going to see how quick and easy this cornbread comes together. We're going to put the dry ingredients in first. I have 1 cup of cornmeal. I have the white cornmeal. This is by White Lily, and you can use the yellow cornmeal if you like. That's what my grandmother would have used. I have a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Probably. I have 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to dump that in there. Whisk that all together. 1 cup. Then we're going to add 1 cup and 1/4 of whole buttermilk. And 1 whole egg. That you're going to just stir it just enough till all the ingredients are together. It could be a little lumpy still, but we don't want to overwork it. Now let's get that hot pan out of the oven. Oh, it's steaming hot now, and that just stayed in there the whole time I was making the cornbread batter. We're going to just get everything in that hot skillet. You can actually hear that vegetable oil sizzling. That's going to help make a nice crust on the bottom of the cornbread. You're going to bake that cornbread in the oven, a 425-degree oven, for 20 to 25 minutes. And it's going to turn a nice, beautiful, golden brown crust on the outside, and it's going to be wonderful. All right, did you notice what item I did not put in my cornbread? Yeah, you're right, sugar. My grandmother would have never put sugar in her cornbread. It's time to try the apple butter that we got from Weber's Farm. I already popped the seal, but let's take a look at it. Looks delicious. Oh man, it smells good too. It smells really good. Now if you use the yellow cornmeal, it's going to look a little bit darker than this. All right, let's try a piece of this. Okay. Look at that. Perfect. If I say so. Just spread that out. There is our apple butter on our cornbread. I've already taken a bite. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But I'll take another one because it's really good. It's got the perfect amount of sweetness. The cornbread is really good too. Let's get ready to move on to our next apple product that we got at Weber's Farm. And we have some apple pie jam. How do you think we can use our apple pie jam? Let me think. Hey, let's do it on some biscuits. You ready to try? Anyway, 2 cups of self-rising flour. Doesn't have to be white lily, but it works really well. And then I'm going to take 1/4 cup of Crisco shortening, vegetable shortening. And cleanup is so easy. I've got this nice large fork. It's actually a serving fork, but it works well when you're cutting and shortening into the flour. I just get a little bit of flour on top of it. You can use a paste. Cut those that shortening into the flour. Sometimes you gotta scrape it a little bit until it's like a pea-sized shape. You don't want any really big lumps like this. That's too big, so we're still cutting that, but maybe like that. That's how you want it. So go after those big patches. I'm using 1 cup of whole buttermilk. Just put that in with the flour and give it a stir. Like I said, this is where you don't want to overwork it. Just so it gets most of that flour all blended in together. Gonna dust a little flour on the surface. Put all that biscuit dough out there. You want to pat the dough down really nice and gently though, and fold it over a couple times. I use my pastry blender to do that, but you can just use your hands. But I usually fold it over several times. Flatten it out till it's about 3/4 to 1 inch thick, and then use a 2.5 inch cookie cutter to cut your biscuits out. Just make sure you use an up and down motion with the cookie cutter. You don't want to twist it because that will put a seal on the edges and your biscuits won't rise as well. So just for a little extra flavor, you can use some melted butter and brush them right on top of those finished biscuits, and that's going to just put them over the top. But this isn't necessary. You don't have to add the butter. We're going to have an apple pie jam with our buttered biscuits. How about that? Yeah, all right. Now I'm expecting this is going to open all on its own. See that little split apart there? Watch. Oh man, look at that biscuit. You can see the steam's coming off of it. And it is flaky and it's baked to perfection, nice and soft and tender. I'm not going to put any more butter on this because we have a lot of butter on the outside, but let's spread a little bit of apple jam on here. Hey, I think I forgot to show you something else we got at Weber's Farm. Honey Crisp apple cider. Oh my goodness. So you can see we've already gotten into this. It is really good. It is the best apple cider I have ever had. It's made from Honey Crisp apples. And it's a little lighter than normal, but the flavor is wonderful. We have to go back to get some more of this. I think it's about time for a taste test. What do you think? I've already got Ron's opinion on it. Now I'm going to take my opinion and see if I agree with him. I won't tell you what he said first until I try mine. Cheers. He was right. Yep. He certainly was right. That crispy, flaky, buttered biscuit was perfect for this apple jam because you know what? It tastes just like an apple pie. You're gonna love it. And you know what's perfect for washing that down? My apple cider. I love apple season. So let's talk flavors. The apple jam. Oh, that flavor was so intense. It was really sweet, so you just need a little bit of it. It had a texture to it. It like little tiny chunks of apple in it, so that was nice. And the flavor, like I said, it was very intense. It had all those warm spices that you know and love in the fall season, like the nutmeg and the cinnamon. Oh man, it was wonderful. And that definitely will be on my list to get again because it was really good. The biscuits were nice and flaky. You know, using that Crisco gives a little bit of flakiness to those biscuits. I really like it. You didn't think I was going to finish up today's video without having used real apples, did you? Not a chance. So today that's what we're going to do. I did buy some apples at Weber's Farm. We bought these. They're called Somerset. I've not had one before, but they say that they're sweet and tangy and crisp. So we're going to try those for snack later on. But today, in my fridge, been waiting for me to eat, and I haven't gotten to yet, I have a bag full of these apples. Gala, I don't know, how do you say it? Gala? If you really know for sure, let me know in the comments how to really pronounce Gala, apples, whatever. Anyway, we're going to use these today in our apple muffin recipe, and it is going to be delicious. Stick around, and it's going to be quick and easy, just like the other recipes. We're actually going to make a crumb topping for the top of these muffins. Those happen to be the best muffins ever when you have a crumb topping on top. So we're going to take some cold butter. Now the recipe calls to just take 5 tablespoons of cold butter, cut them into chunks, and then work them with your fingers into the crumble. But I'm just going to grate it on my box grater. 5 tablespoons of cold butter. It's a little easier doing it this way. Oh yeah. All right, to make the streusel, I'm going to take a 1/2 cup of flour and a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm just using white granulated sugar. One 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Half teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm just going to whisk that together a little bit with a fork to get that blended together. And my grated butter. I'm just going to add that in, and I'm going to put it in the fridge until we're ready to use it on top of it. And there we have our crumb topping. Just waiting for our muffins to get ready. Let's get to it. I've got 2 cups of self-rising flour in the bowl, and what I'm going to add to that to make it a nice fall flavor is a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. You know what? This is my favorite spice, I believe, especially in the fall. I love nutmeg. Now I know that some of you don't like nutmeg. You can just simply leave it out or substitute it for cinnamon if you want. We'll whisk that together. All right, we're also going to add 2/3 cup of white sugar in with that. We have half a cup of vegetable oil. Yeah, we're getting the liquid ingredients now. We have 1 cup of milk, 2 eggs, I just scrambled my eggs a little bit before I put them into the dry ingredients. And there's one more thing. We're going to put a little bit of vanilla in there, just a little teaspoon of vanilla. All right. Quick stir, don't overwork it, just get the ingredients together. That's all you need to do. All right, you're going to need about 1.5 cups of apples, or if you want to use another fruit other than apples, you can. I don't know why you would, but you can. Anyway, just going to grate these up. To use them in our recipe. I'm thinking 2 small gala apples are going to make about 1.5 cups. There you go. We're just going to scoop those up and put them in the batter. Give them a quick stir. And there's our batter. All right, let's get them in the muffin tins. Next thing to do, take that crumble out of the refrigerator where it's been hanging out and just sprinkle on top. Ready to go in the oven. We're going to bake these at a 400-degree oven for 17 minutes, but keep your eye on them. All right, I'm going to cut this open to see if we can even have a hint of what the apples look like. They might have just melded in with the batter, but we'll see. I think my crumb's going to fall apart when I cut it. Yep, there it goes. I don't usually cut my muffins. You know what? Because the apple and the batter look so similar in color, you can't really see it, but if you look really, really close, you can. Like right in here. But look how soft that crumb is. It's very, very moist. And here's top. All right, taste test time. It might crumble a little bit. It's crumble, remember, it's crumble. It already crumbled. Anyway, let's try it. I like that the apples are grated. They incorporate really, really well, but these just add a very nice moisture to the muffin itself. The nutmeg, perfect. It is a 1/4 teaspoon is a perfect amount. It's not overbearing, but you can taste those fall flavors. And that buttery crumb topping, oh my goodness. You don't have to put the crumb topping on it, but you might want to. If you have a favorite apple treat, either something that you've bought or something that you've made, I would love to hear about it. Please leave me a note in the comments. Tell me where you're from and what is your favorite apple treat, and do you like to bake? What's your favorite baking item that you use with apples? So I'd love to hear your feedback. I just wanted to thank you all for being with me as we went through this fun apple day with Weber's Farm and all the treats that we made. The cornbread and apple butter, the apple pie jam with the biscuits, and now the apple muffins. I've had so much fun. I hope you have too. I was wondering if you would do me a favor. Can you hit like and subscribe down below? I would love to have your support, and I would love to bring you some more videos. Love to hear from you. So thanks again. We'll see you next time.